All right, I have a great video coming at you today. Women become wildly seduced by men who display these 3 hidden attraction mechanisms or these 3 hidden attraction triggers. Also, after today's video is over, I put together a really cool gift for you this holiday season, this Black Friday. Check that out after today's video is over. But nevertheless, I think this is a really good title. Women become wildly seduced by men who display these 3 hidden attraction mechanisms. I'm going to get right into the video and show you exactly what they are because I don't want to waste any of your time. And my whole goal with this video is by the end of it, when we get to this column, I want you to have a total mindset shift and overhaul. I want you to really look at the world differently when it comes to how you develop attraction with more dating options and more companions. So number 1, okay, women are drawn to men who they can't read. Like if you are a dude and she looks at you and she's like, God, I just cannot read this guy. I can't figure this guy out. Women are drawn to men who they cannot read. So his emotions or his feelings are unclear when he's around her. So the only way that I can get this to make sense, okay, is what we first have to do is we have to look at the opposite. Okay, when you're younger, maybe you're in high school or college or something like that, right? These 3 things right here, I would call like adolescent young man's game. When you're younger, you think that these 3 things right here shows courage. And then as you get older, you're in for a rude awakening because your beliefs were completely wrong or incorrect a lot of times with the things that you thought would lead to a result versus what actually does. So adolescent young man's game would be things like, number 1 would be flirting. Okay, you think if you go there and you flirt, or you go to the party and you flirt, you're showing your interest, you're showing your intent. This is going to work out. Typically never does. Number 2 would be saying or doing something to hopefully create attraction, when in reality you cannot create attraction. Attraction is just there. She naturally feels attracted to you because you are a man that develops certain characteristics that she's drawn to. And then number 3 would be having the balls or having the courage to just tell her how you feel. Okay, this is another thing that younger dudes will do. Now, all of these things sound really good on paper. This sounds confident, okay? But what you find with age and wisdom and experience is this is literally the exact way to rejection. You think that this demonstrates courage, but in reality, you're sitting there trying to create attraction, trying to flirt, trying to show how you feel, trying to say the right things. You are there entertaining her. Meanwhile, in the back of her mind, she's sitting there thinking about this guy right over here that you don't even see, and he's not even talking to her. So this is what I mean. Women are drawn to men who they can't read. This sounds confident, but it's the exact way to rejection. So with age, okay, as you get older, you see that women are drawn to the guy, okay, who can basically just act completely normal at all times and not thirsty. That's who women are drawn to. So you need to practice this. You need to practice complete personality congruence regardless of how beautiful she is. If you can act the same way with your mom or your dad as you do with like that woman who you think is just a total dime, like if you can act the exact same with your parents as you could with the 10 out of 10, you are in the sweet spot because she's going to see a man who's sure of himself and has rock solid identity. And that's what she's looking for, is just true internal confidence, okay? So that's number 1. Number 2, she has to actually put in effort to get access to a conversation, okay? I'm going to make this whole topic right here as normal everyday sentences as I can. And what that means is if you watch enough dating content or coaches, you're going to hear this explained with different terminology that just will make it more confusing for your brain. So I'm not going to use words like attention or validation, okay? Because this is what I think a lot of people would say. A lot of guys would say, she has to put an effort to gain that attention or that approval or that validation. When you talk with your friends or your family members, that's not typically how people talk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be as real as I can. Number 2, she has to put an effort to gain access to a conversation because that's what it is. It's a conversation. I don't want to use the word attention or validation. I'm trying to be real here. It's a conversation. That's what people have, is conversation. So the thing that you have to be aware of too is the more material like this that you watch, your mind can actually start to see things differently, and you actually forget how to just like be smooth and cool and, you know, in your good, normal, everyday self. Okay, I don't want your mind thinking of too many different things and then you just get confused. So, number 2, what is the second type of guy that she becomes seduced towards? She has to put an effort to gain access to a conversation. Okay, now here's what I can tell you. She wants to be the one to strike up the conversation. And I'll show you how to do this. I'll show you what that means. So the best game, if you look at a dude and you're like, whoa, you got really good game. How do you attract so much women? How do you attract so many women? Here's what you're going to find. The best game is when you are so like primal caveman, stupid simple, that she thinks you actually have none. She actually thinks you have no game. That's the best game. The best game is when she thinks that you have none. Keep that in mind, okay? So an example would be like, hey, or actually let's use a bad example. Let's use an example of where this goes wrong. Because with point number 2, I just told you she has to put an effort to gain access to the conversation. Here's where most guys go completely wrong. Let's say you have a dude and he's went out on a couple dates with a woman and it went really well. Let's say she really likes him and he maybe really likes her. Okay? So here's an example. The guy is seeing this woman maybe consistently, or they've went out a couple times, and then he sends her a message, totally okay. He sends her a message that says, hey, want to see this movie with me on Saturday? I'll take us to this movie. Do you want to go with? Are you free? And let's say she has interest in the movie, and let's say she has interest in him. So she would say yes if she wasn't out of town. But let's say she says, hey, I'm out of town this weekend. I'm traveling for Thanksgiving, or I'm traveling for the holidays. Okay, I'm traveling to go see my family right now. I can't, I'd love to, but I'm out of town. I'm out of town right now, so I can't see the movie with you. And she's even really nice about it. So she sends another message right after, and she says, but when I get back, we can definitely go see that movie. Or when I get back, I'd love to see you. Or she'll say, I'm out of town for a few days. When I get back, I'd love to see you. Okay? Here's where a majority of guys go wrong. Majority of guys would wait however many days it was and then send that message that says, hey, are you back yet? Or, hey, I know you're back. Now do you want to go see the movie? And now all of a sudden what just happened is her interest would probably drop, and now most likely he will get a rejection, even though in the beginning she was interested. Well, why would that be? It's because she didn't have to put in any effort to gain access to the conversation. What he should have done right here when she says, I'm out of town, but when I get back, I'd love to go see it with you, he could just hold down the reaction button and give the message a heart, or he could just type the words perfect and then sit and wait. And even if she's only out of town for 5 days, she maybe will test his interest level or his desire, or really like his thirst. Like, how desperate is this guy? Maybe she doesn't continue the conversation, even though she was only gone for 5 days. Maybe she doesn't send that message until 10 days later. But the fact is this, since he proved that he could wait and had patience and wasn't desperate and just let things happen and let things evolve naturally, her emotions worked in his favor without him even having to do anything. How awesome is that? How awesome is that, that you can sit there and do absolutely nothing and have more charm, more seduction, create more desire by doing absolutely nothing? How cool is that? All this time, all these years, you probably thought that you had to go out in the world and try and put in all this effort. And I'm here to tell you that you don't. In fact, you will actually attract hotter women. Like, when I started doing this in my life over the past like however many years, I started attracting hotter women than I ever thought I would ever have access to when I was younger. It got to the point where I was like, whoa, I can't even believe that like this is like my life. This is awesome. Is like literally the mindset that I got to, because like when you see how well this stuff works, you can't help but want to like start to tell people. So think of it this way. If this guy would have just sat and waited and did absolutely nothing, now her emotions work in his favor and she goes, whoa, I actually do want to see him now. I wonder why when I got back into town, he never messaged me to see what I was doing. And maybe she thinks you're seeing somebody else, but maybe she doesn't. Maybe she just thinks that you have a life and you had a life before her, and when you're ready to meet up, she knows that, hey, this is the type of guy where it's like naturally he'll wait for me to reach out, and then I'll message and I'll strike up the conversation. What I can tell you is this. let's say if you have a girlfriend, or let's say if you have a wife, or let's say if you have sisters, or you're around women, what you have to know, like what I really need to get through to you on this video is you have to understand this. Women love to talk. If you have a woman with high interest and she's only sending you a few words at a time, it's because she is using some type of game, or she has some level of she knows how to conceal her interest a little bit. She's using game. She's running a good game to not overvalidate you. But what you have to know is this is just a facade. This is not true. Women love to talk. If you have sisters, or if you ever had a girlfriend, or if you have a wife or whatever, and you see how they message their girlfriends when they're on text message, the paragraphs are this long. They love to just talk and talk and talk and talk. A woman will strike up the conversation with you when she wants to. So have patience. This is something that most men don't know. Most men think that they have to show courage, and they have to be bold and attempt and make another attempt and say, hey, are you free this weekend? You don't have to do any of that. You have to learn how to do absolutely nothing, is the coolest thing about this. That's number 2. Now, number 3, the third type of guy, okay, or the third attraction mechanism that a woman becomes seduced by, or that a woman really likes, okay, is when that guy does not need a constant conversation going on through the text message, okay, to feel like she's still there. There's a lot of guys where it's like they get a girlfriend, or they're dating someone, and it's like you constantly need that communication for your own reassurance. There's a lot of guys like that. Hi babe, good morning. What are you doing? How's work going? I'll call you after lunch. I'll call you during lunch, okay? The type of guy that she wants is the type of guy who does not need a conversation constantly going on through the text message to feel like she's still there. So when you're a dude and you enter into this communication pattern, number 1, okay, you got to understand this. To her, this is going to feel like work. This will feel like actual work. Like, oh, I have to keep texting him back. This sucks. Okay, number 2, this is going to start to feel exhausting. And then all of the desire will fizzle out because it's too much digital communication. You've probably been there before. If you think about right now, I would almost guarantee this. There's probably one woman from your past, if you think about it, maybe it's a year ago, 2 years ago, for some of you it's 5 years ago. There's that one name of that one woman in your mind where you know you messed up. You know it. And I would almost guarantee that it was something to do with point number 3. You needed, or you wanted, constant conversation through that cell phone to feel like there is still a relationship. And because of that, she no longer would respect you. So here's the thing. What you learn, okay, the more you date and the older you get, especially if you're a man who acquires wisdom, is you start to learn that when it comes to text messages and when it comes to messaging women, or when it comes to even just conversation, it's defense, not offense. Okay, when I explain to you like young man's game over here, flirting and showing courage and attempting to talk, that is offense. You are using offense. You are using offense to, like, if you think about like the game of football or basketball, you're using offense to try to do whatever it is that you're doing. What I'm teaching you here, when I say like women are drawn to men where he's sitting there patient, you're not doing anything, that's defense, okay? Even your text messages, defense. You don't need to send most of the things that you're sending. Instead, all you need to do is you just need to communicate with her when she decides to communicate to you. So the older you get, or the more wisdom you acquire, you start to see that in order to get success in life with anything, it's not about what you want. It just isn't. It's about what the other person wants. It's not about what you want. It's about what she wants. Because she's going to follow her own emotions and she'll just do what she wants anyways. So it's the same in business, okay? The business owner can sit and try to say this or do that, but like if the person that he's selling to, or if the customer doesn't fundamentally want what that business is offering, that business owner isn't going to make any sales. It's like you're trying to sit here and sell ice cream cones when the whole customer base wanted cheeseburgers. So in order for that business owner to make money, it's not about what he wants. He can want to sell all of the ice cream that he wants, but if they don't want that and they want cheeseburgers, he has to give them what they want. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. The older I get, the more I realize that anything you want in life only comes when you know how to give the other person what they want. So this is something that's very important. When you communicate with her, okay, You're communicating in a way where it's defense, it's not offense. And if you can master that, just defense, just sitting there and being patient, not doing anything, communicating back with a simple statement instead of just needing to ask all these questions, you will be miles ahead of almost every other dude. So why does it have to be like this? I want to address this point. You might be wondering, well, why do I have to do all this? The reason being is because since right now, me making this video, right now it's November in the year of 2025. Right now, women have a lot of options because of digital communication on the cell phone. There's a bunch of different dating apps. There's a bunch of different social media. So that means there's a bunch of men ready and willing to go out on a date. Because of all of her options, okay, things have changed. Years ago, okay, let's turn back the clock 15, 20 years. Years ago, you could do great, okay? Years ago, you could do great from just being, let's say, charming or being very charismatic. You could be the type of guy who gets laid, a lot of times even has a girlfriend. And maybe even to some extent today, you still could. But this is what I can tell you right here. Right now, in 2025 and so on and so forth, the whole dating situation, the whole dating scenario is more complex than it ever has been. Nowadays, you need strategy. You need some type of strategy for how to act and how to behave in order to make sure that you communicate effectively to demonstrate the elements of a man who is either pre-selected or a man who knows how to carry himself. So what I mean by that is nowadays, okay, since there's so much digital communication, gone are the days of it being good enough where you're just charismatic or you're just charming. Nowadays, you have to manage your text messages, phone call frequency. What did you post on social media? What you posted on social media, was that a display of attraction or was that a display of lower attraction? Oh, what about the stories? Did you view that story? Did you not? Think of it this way. Nowadays, it's way more complex because with hypergamy, she's always watching all of the small details. Everything. All the small details are constantly being monitored. You have to be aware of this. So, this is what helped me over the years. Okay, what helped me over the years, okay, in order to really internalize these concepts would be ditching all the mainstream flashy things that I thought that I had to be. Ditching all of it. If you look at movies and you look at magazines, you look at social media, you're going to notice all this stuff. Oh, you got to be at all the parties or you're not cool. You got to have all the flashiness, the house, the car, whatever, the fancy jewelry, whatever. And what helped me internalize these concepts is I was like, no, I am me. This is who I am me. That's that. I don't care about any of this and I don't want to participate. I didn't want, okay, to even necessarily attract women who are into all of this type of stuff anyways. Because that's not her understanding me, or if you are living by this mindset, that's not her understanding you for that matter with who you actually are. So what I had to do for myself, and I'm hoping you can take some of these lessons away too, is I had to actually understand what gives me, okay, or what you have to do as a man is you have to understand what gives you anxiety and ruins your natural, calm, primal seduction. So what I would advise you to do is just remove all the expectations. Social media is going to tell you you need to be a certain way, you need to look a certain way. This is the flashy way to do things. And you need to just take a step back and imagine what life would be like if you were just primal. Meaning, imagine you never saw a screen in your entire life. Imagine you woke up today, like me, I'm 29 years old. Imagine you woke up and you have never once saw a TV or a screen in your entire life. So that means you don't have all of the different things or the different people saying different things that you've seen. I want you to imagine how different you would think, how calm you would probably be, because your expectation and your situations in life wouldn't be molded by what you already saw. How different would you think? So what I can tell you is this. In order for me to give you my best material possible to help you take some of these concepts at an even deeper level, I would advise you at this point in the video to just get my gift. Down below, I made you a gift for the holiday season. It's probably the coolest thing that I've ever made. I want you to at least just go and check it out. The holiday season only comes one time a year, and I put this together for you specifically so that way you can have a great dating life. Just go and check it out. All the stuff I give you inside of that gift took me over, I would say, a year to build for sure. And it was all the coolest stuff that I could think of. So go and check that out right now after today's video is over. Hit the like button, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.